right, everybody, so here we are back. Going to get back into the last little run here of some stories. I hope you kind of have been enjoying this different type of an episode. And I wanted to go over a couple more little stories here. We kind of covered some of my favorites. There's probably some I'm gonna forget, but I don't want to fill up like a bunch of episodes on old stories, so I'm just gonna kind of tell a couple highlights of some of the ones that I feel like I have some footage of, and also that I think you guys will enjoy. So next one, I'll talk about a big one that JJ and I caught and actually ended up weighing. He weighed 774 or something like that. I don't know. We'll get back to that. But anyways, so story goes, we were seeing some nice fish that summer. We were definitely catching our fair share of big ones. We, like 3 days before, we had this guy that fished with me, and he owns like a little boat in Cabo or something. He fished me, I think, twice. So anyhow, he gets on the boat, we go out, we start fishing, whatever. Anyways, it was like towards the end of the day, we ended up bite all day. We're coming up around the point here, and I'm in real shallow, which I like to work that zone. I've done really well on it pretty much every year except this year. Although the biggest fish I did see all year was in that area. We were like pounding that area for like 6 or 7 hours, and the boat came in with an Omni and hooked one that looked well over 900. But anyhow, we were in there, I'm in there tight, I do one pass, come on the second pass, and this thing just piles on, Get in there, that's a fucking big one. Big fish. Really big fish. Turn that chair. And that one ate, if I remember correctly, real fast. It actually ate the bullet. He ate the large bullet, the feather, Captain Feather Sword. Piled on. I actually saw the bite, was like, that is a nice one. And then on its first jump, I was like, oh my God, that is a really nice one. Like really big one that we were probably gonna take for a boat ride. Starts jumping everywhere. The guy's like, what is it? I'm like, look back there. I'm like, it's one of the biggest blue marlin I've seen in years. Get in the chair. Start going after the fish, and he, you know, we kind of survive all the stuff, get after this thing, and he's just like super struggling. Was just, you know, kind of tough going. And, you know, he's like, there's no way this is a blue marlin. He's like, look how close we are to the beach. He's like, it must be, you know, big tuna or something or whatever. I'm like, man, it's a really big blue marlin. Like, it's, trust me on this. And he's like, well, look how close we are. We were like right off the rocks, but the big ones come in there and feed in that zone. Anyways, everything was just like, in terms of an angler, it was just going wrong, and the fish was just kind of straight up and down. I couldn't get any angle on it. It's like the worst scenario. Long story short, we pull hook.
Down with it whenever you
oh, we pulled hook on that one. Big one, real big one. Boop, pull hook. We started actually getting close to maybe a first leader attempt, and hook pulls. So we're like devastated, you know. Go home, we're bummed. You know, check the footage, see how big this thing is. Just bummed. So a couple days later, out on another charter, go out, I work one little point, we catch a little one, like a 200 pounder. This guy's super cool, it's on the thing, ex-military guy, jet fighter pilot, super fit, kind of guy you want to catch a nice one with. I come back into the same spot, go in, first pass, boom, on the rig from Arizona, the large bandit. Boom, piles on, and I'm that's a nice one. I seen it jump a bunch of times, we both did, and we're like, oh, okay, it's smaller than the one we had on just recently, but like it's still a nice one, you know.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Point the rod straight.
So we fight it for a while, we get on it, we get a lot of action, we get a lot of drag, kind of goes down. Long story short, it ends up pretty much just dying on us. Like there was like something freaked it out, I don't know. In the pictures you can see blood. His wife was shooting photos, there's some pretty cool photos, but you can actually see like blood coming out the side of it. So I don't know if maybe the way it ate the lure, something affected it. It was not doing good. Anyways, it ends up dying. Luckily we had a guy in there that knew what he, you know, could handle, and you know, we slammed the drag way up, and the current was super strong, so I used the current to help me, and you know, we planed it into the current and got it up pretty quickly.
We are getting him back now. Doing a phenomenal job in the chair. If you guys watch these videos and you want to come and do this, study up on how to do whatever this guy's doing.
Learn how to suffer.
Learn how to suffer, there you go. Knees locked out, reeling on the way down, stopping, pulling all the way back, going for it again. Nice fish, man.
Yeah, we got about 70 pounds on this one right now, 70 pounds of drag. The current, got it up pretty quickly. It was dead. I came over, I wanted to release it, but it was dead, so we decided to bring it in the boat, pulled it through, and then we took a measurement, and it actually measured 134 short. And I'm like, what? I'm like up in the bridge, like saying like, yeah, it's like a 600 pounder, right? And JJ's like, hey, Chris, this thing's a 134 short. And I'm like, what? And I'm like looking down, I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah. So I'm like, oh my God. It might have actually been a 130, sorry. I think it was a 132 short, if I'm correct. Anyways, I'm like, what? No way. I'm like, oh, well, I'm like, it's a nice fish, you know? Maybe it's 800 or something, right? Maybe more, I don't know. Folks, well, as the tide turns, like I said, good vibes, positive vibes, good things were coming. Hooked a nice one right there. Came into my little honey. I was gonna kind of save my little honey hole spot till tomorrow, but thought, hey, maybe we'll go in there and catch a couple rats, and we didn't catch a rat. It was a nice fish. Came up. Unfortunately, it died. I don't understand. He fought it really well. I guess it was just tired. I don't know. Maybe it's probably tail wrapped or something, but we could tell it was straight up and down. You'll see the video. On the video, you'll see when we were just kind of straight up and down, and we just made the decision like, oh crap, we gotta. So luckily, a good angler. We put the drag up to 70. Used the current. Another great advantage of having a current like this, you can use it to help you get the fish up. Use the current to get it up. She came up belly up. I mean, there's nothing we could do, man. I really wanted to revive it and send her on her way, but there was no reviving that one, unfortunately. I feel bad. I don't like killing these fish. I really don't, but occasionally it happens. So we're gonna bring it in. These guys can weigh and get a picture. Not a giant fish. Nice though, definitely really nice. So, hey. Anyways, brought it back to the scale, hung it up. I never really kill them, so it was the biggest one I weighed that whole year, and it was a nice one. It was like 770 something or other, and yeah.
772.
How much do you think that weighs?
772.
What's that?
Oh, congratulations, guys.
772 and a half.
772. Woo! Yeah.
All right. There you go. There's your fish, man.
Our buddy came over and we got a bunch of sausage and smoked fish out of it and all this stuff. And JJ was super stoked. You know, he got to kill one in Hawaii, which a lot of us I don't really kill too many of them anymore. So he actually got to kill one and weigh it and put it up there, and kind of makes me think about how big the one was that we lost a few days prior. But that is that story, and it was a pretty cool fish.
You gonna make sausage with that one now?
Huh?
You gonna make sausage or just smoke it?
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
Get that. Can you get some?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't need much, but yeah, whatever. All right, thank you for picking it up. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, enjoy it. How you feeling?
It's pretty real.
Yeah. You're stoked, and you got to see the whole process of how it's gonna get processed and eaten and all that.
Yeah.
You're stoked.
That was important to me.
Yeah, killer, man.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
congratulations.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for fishing with us.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're the
it.
brains. You know, I just
No, man,
that's
you
all I
did.
did.
Yeah. You did a great job. All right.
All right, this is a story of the one that got away. Oh, I got a lot of those stories, and I'm not really going to tell a bunch of them during this thing because I have a lot of them, and I just feel like they just become fish stories. But this one was technically a caught fish, so I feel like I can tell the story. And also, we had our opportunities, and I still, to this day, I hold myself responsible for us not bringing this and weighing this fish. I would put my name on it that I truly do believe that this was one. And I take full responsibility that we didn't kill it, and you know, I feel bad for Nick. And I think, you know, I guess at the end of the day, I can't really, who knows what would have happened, but I just feel like in a different scenario, and if we were right off the bat planning to kill this one, I think we probably could have got a gaff in it and got it in the boat. And there's some moments I've watched that video and over again, and there's moments I've critiqued and thought in my head like we probably should have done this. And there was a part in him wiring the fish where I should have told him to hang on and don't let go, and he would have done it, but I told him it's all right, let it go. And I think if I told him to hang on, the way that fish was pulling, the hook would have stayed in, I believe, and I think we would have got a shot there. But it is what it is, right? You know. But anyways, I feel I will hold myself responsible for us not killing that one. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things where if you are going to try and kill a big one, you just need to start killing some of them. It's an unfortunate factor, but it is. If you're like constantly trying to wait till you have one that you know for sure is going to go over the mark, you're probably going to release some that are really close, and you're probably going to make a mistake like I did with this one, not being ready to kill it. So here's the story. Nick and I have been catching some nice fish. It was like springtime, and it was like almost every trip we were going out, we were seeing a nice one. We were catching some good ones for sure. We're kind of on that roll. Things were feeling good. Great spread going at the time. Now, Nick has a better memory than me on the spread that was there. So, Nick, if you're watching this episode, put in the comments what our spread was, because I can't fully, we moved the spreads around a lot that time, and I know you have that autistic memory there that, yeah, you remember freaking everything. He'll be like, you were wearing this shirt on this day, blah, 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 blah. You were doing, so, tell us what the spread was, Nick. Put it in the comments, bro. But I think our spread was smash bait on the short. No, breakfast on the short. Smash bait on the right short. Left short was Rick from Arizona. Or left long was Rick from Arizona. Right long was a Tantrum Bullet. Stinger was Magic Malolo by Aloha Lures. Oh, no. Stinger was a sundowner. Yeah. Nick, am I correct? Tell me, put it in the comments. Let us know what we had going. Teasers, what we had going. All right. So this one, we head down south. Had a lot of big fish encounters down south. This was down in an area called Caves. Kind of by Red Hill, kind of up in that zone. Fishing was really slow. Current was a little weird. There's a little hole off of Caves. It goes down to about, it's like an 800 fathom little kind of divot, and it comes up and kind of almost horseshoes in there. And sometimes I find some big ones in there. And the way the current was pushing, it just looked perfect for that. And I remember Chris, our charter, had come up and said, so he was very inquisitive. He asked a lot of questions. He asked some really good questions, though. He actually kind of knew what he was talking about. And so he was great to fish with. But he came up and said, so what's, with this area, I noticed you've kind of just decided you want to fish this area. What's going on? And I showed him and I said, see this little divot right here? I'm pretty sure there's a big one in here. And he said, oh, okay, cool. So we did one pass through. Come around, I do my second pass through, and on the second pass through, Nick goes, oh, there's one up. Oh, I'm wrong on the spread. The left, the short corner, the left short was the Aloha Lure Sundowner. I was wrong because this is what the fish ate. Gosh, how could I forget that? I think it was Aloha Lure Sundowner, smash bait, Rick from Arizona, the Bullet, and the Uncle Mo. Or not Uncle Mo, Magic Malolo. Anyways, comes up, he said, look, there's one on that short corner. And I look down, and there it is, sure enough. Kind of brownish, just kind of sitting there. Starting to turn like that blackish brown. Not a great sign. Not super interested in it. And as it's sitting there, Nick's like, what should I do? And, he's asking me, should I tease it? Should I pop it out? What should I do? It's so close to the boat, I don't want to mess with that lure too much because you're only going to get a few cranks and then you're in a position where you're kind of not in a great position right there. So I'm kind of watching what the fish does, and like right when he says like, what should I do? That fish turned jet black, its pecs turned bright blue, tail turned bright blue, and it started doing that aggressive like come at the lure and fell. And I just go, nothing, he's gonna eat. And then sure enough, he just came up behind it and ate it. Not a real impressive bite, but it came up. The sundowner usually gets those sort of like, just kind of a grab bite, not like a big head and shoulder out, kind of just come up and grab it, which generally for that lure seemed like a pretty good hookup rate. So boom, he's on.
Have to move that rod. There he is. Nice fish. Really nice fish.
Getting after it. Fish starts jumping right away. I go, oh yeah, that's a big one. That's a really big. And then I'm saying like, oh, that's a big one. That's a really big one. And I start turning. We start getting after it. We're chasing all over. We're on it. We start getting over to it, and it's just acting real kind of crazy.
All right, doing good, Chris. How's it feel, buddy?
Yeah.
You got what you came for, huh?
That's it.
Just keep it tight. You're doing really good. Just remember the level line. You're doing good. Got a long ways to go. Probably got 300-400 yards of line out.
That's not what I want here.
Oh well.
Are we there yet?
Not really.
All right. Really nice fish. Came up on the short corner, was swimming back there, kind of checking it out. And then sundowner swimming around, and then came in and ate it. And
I saw the shadow.
Tight. Nice fish. Hopefully we can get her. Right now she's kind of just swimming away from us.
This is the peg. She's 50 feet away. I know it's tough. You don't want to horse her now. Just keep doing what you're doing, okay?
Interesting on the surface, kind of darting around, doing different things. And as we're getting over to it, I can see it for a while. It's right there. I can see the lure. The lure's pink, so it's lit up, and I can see this fish just full of life, just swimming, and we're keeping pace with it. And
we finally get up to it, and it's kind of going away, and we come up to grab it on leader. Now, I haven't pulled any gaffs out. I haven't done anything because I'm thinking, first off, this fish is going to be crazy on leader. Second off, I don't know how big it is, and I would like to get it up alongside the boat and take a measurement. And if it's like really fat and it over 135, 134, we're probably going to take it. But I just wanted to get it up first and get a measure. And I think it's hooked pretty good because it's jumping everywhere and we're chasing it and we've been on it for a while and it's changed angles so many times. Like I'm thinking we're good. And we've just been doing really, really good on lures, like 80-something%, you know. The rigs that I have and the way I have that swivel thing that you'll see eventually when I bring it to market, we've just done really well. But this story will show that you're never 100%.
There's the knot. Just right here. It's okay, he's gonna spin on us, it's coming up. Get ready to reel.
God damn it.
Take your time, take it down, like you said. You're doing good, just nice and easy. We'll get that leader touch, we can say you caught it. Then we'll figure out everything else later. Just yell if I'm in your way and I'll talk really loud.
So anyhow, we get over to it.
Caught fish.
He grabs
He caught
leader.
it.
Fish turns on us, comes up the side.
Out here.
And now I slow down a little bit as it comes up the side because I'm thinking it's gonna stall a little and he's gonna be able to get some pulls on it, and I want it to kind of come up on us, and I want him to be pulling behind it, and then I can speed up and he can get a few wraps and get it real close, get a bunch more wraps and get it closer. And what this fish does, he comes up along the side and he immediately turns his head and comes down. It's like the worst scenario for me, and the thing is alive. And now when I look down my rigger, and I have a 3D video of it, and none of the video is going to do justice really to how big that fish was, but I looked down at it and I knew right then and there, like, oh my gosh, that's one of the biggest I've hooked here. Like, that's a freaking animal. And it comes up and it comes under the corner. I zip away because I don't want to run it over or get it in the wheels, and I tell Nick to let go of it there because he had to really, or he would have pulled it right up under us. And then the fish stalls and he goes to take another wrap. And this is where we would have got this fish. And this is, you know, first off, I hold myself responsible. We didn't have a gaff ready right then. I probably could have run over and tried to stick it, but I don't think we would have got him. If we had a second crew, yeah, I think we might have got a gaff and shot in that thing, but it would have been, he probably would have come up in the wheels. It would have been a shit show. So anyways, goes to grab the leader a second time, and the fish is now off to our corner here and like kind of swimming in a position where it would be hard for me to get a slack. He grabs it and it's kind of straining, and I just go, just let it go. Just let him go, you know, and he lets it go and it pops off. And the fish comes down and goes down under and swims off, right? And takes a bunch of line out. Now, I think what would have happened in that scenario is he would have held really tight and we would have had a lot of pressure on it, but I think we would have got it up alongside there, and I think we would have got a good shot right then. I don't know, you know. I just thought, hey, let's not force the issue. Let me get my flying gaffs ready. I'm pretty sure this fish is hooked. We'll get back over to it. It'll be a little bit more tired now. We'll get a good shot. We only got me and him on the boat and one angler, you know, so we can't make like a heroic gaff. So in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. But in hindsight, I probably should have had him just buckle down and just take our shot and see what happened and just run down and try to put a gaff in it. So after we let go of it, or we get the flyers ready, I mean, we all know it's big enough. Get over to it, we're chasing around a little more, it comes up, and now I'm seeing it, and it's tired now for the most. It's swimming, but it's tired, and I'm like, okay, we got this. And in my mind, I think I probably allowed myself to get too comfortable in my mind right then, because I thought, oh yeah, we got this. We've done this 1,000 times. This thing's coming up. It's going to come up on its side there. It's going to give us a perfect shot. I'm going to run down and put a gaff in it, and we're going to take this thing to the scale. Comes over.
Kind of up on her side a little bit more.
I don't even think he gets one full wrap in it.
Head still.
And the fish comes now to the other side, does like a roll, turns his head.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Minimal pressure, pulls hook. Right there. On the second leader attempt right there, boom, pulls hook. And I watched the thing swim away. I watched it just slowly paddle off.
Wow. Hey, you got caught fish?
Like, what happened? You know, the hook was not straight and nothing was wrong. I don't know. My thought was it's up and around. It was probably up and around the bill like this, barely in, you know, and he comes around like that, and then the leader was out the side. And I think that we were just constantly fighting it like that. And then I think what happened on that last leader temp, the leader had moved out and around, and we were just on the hook. And when he pulled it, it pulled the hook enough a different direction that it just popped out. And that's why when I think it was on the other side, we could have really grabbed a hold of it, and I don't think it would have pulled out because we're pulling with it underneath and around. But I don't know. Maybe we would have held on real tight there and popped the hook there anyways. So you just never know. But I do feel like that was one of the biggest fish and my best opportunity to kill one that would have been over the mark. So that was gut-wrenching. And that was a beautiful fish, so. It did swim away. Technically, I guess we caught it, right? We had it on leader twice. It is what it is. I lost sleep over for a little while, but these freaking animals have broken my heart so many times, it doesn't even really bother me that much anymore. I'm just kind of like used to it. I'm numb. Anyways, that's the story. The big one, the big one that got away from me and Nick. Aloha Lure Sundowner. What a great lure for us. So that's a story that I will never forget, and I don't think Nick will either. I guess I would be silly to leave out the story of the biggest blue marlin I've hooked in Kona. That's kind of an interesting story. I have no video footage, I have nothing, so you're just gonna have to take my word for this one. So Joe used to work, when Joe was my mate, he used to work at the restaurant at the Sheraton, so there were certain nights that he would have to leave early, and anyhow, this day, this guy, we were not meant to fish, and we'd had fished with the guy like 3 days, you know, prior or whatever, and he calls me up, and he's like, hey, he's like, I was just with the wife shopping all day, and she just gave me the green light, I get to go out and fish. He's like, he really wanted to catch blue marlin, we hadn't caught one with him, and he fished a couple days with us. So I was like, shoot, I'm like, it's like 3 o'clock or something. I'm like, I don't know, let me see if I can find crew and see if I can do it for you, man. I mean, usually I would never do that, but like, he's a super nice guy, and we hadn't caught him one, and I was just like, oh, well, whatever. So anyways, I call up Kenton, and Kenton Gear, and he's like, yeah, I can do it, man. I'll meet you down there. I'm like, all right. So we go down there, and we're like, this is basically a sunset booze cruise, you know? So we get out there, we set up, you know, like pop a beer. Basically, we only have a couple hours. I think we've basically had like 3 hours of fishing. We're just off the Kaiwi Point, right off the rocks there. And we see a spearfish. Kenton sees a spearfish like darting away. He's like, oh, there's a spear over there. So like I do a turn to go and get in front of the spearfish to try and catch it, maybe have it eat the stinger. And just then this animal just piles on there right long. I had a yellow large poi dog by Koya Lures, piles on that, boom, just comes up, pulls a whole bunch of drag, does a couple jumps, and then like away, sideways, turns, starts coming at us. And as it's coming at us, Kenton's like, oh my God, like he's freaking out. He's like, well, oh my God, that's her. And I'm looking at her face and her head, and I'm like, oh my God, that is an animal. Comes off, last jump comes off, lures way out the back. You know, I'd just been able to clear both my dredges. Fish is gone. We're like devastated. And Kenton and I are both like, that was gigantic. Kenton's caught granders. He's caught a bunch of really big ones on the reef and stuff. Seen him, and you know, he was like well over the mark. It was one of the biggest fish I've ever seen in my life. And we're like just like devastated, you know. And we bring in the lure back in. I'm starting to set, you know, I start trolling again, set my autopilot, let out one dredge, about ready to let out the second dredge. And you know, we let the corner back out. We're kind of getting set up. I'm just setting my last dredge on that side, and I look back, and here comes this freaking animal with the dorsal out of the water, just pushing water, just swimming through the spread with its eyes peeled right for my short corner lure. And I'm like, oh my God, there she is again. Like, are you kidding me? This thing came from freaking so far away.
and we're just watching it just come in. Inside out, gnarly bite on the short corner lure. Kenton goes over, right on the bite, pushes a drag way up. Do everything right, back to drag back off. Everything seems to be going good. Fish is out there pulling line, jumping all over. We're clearing lines, getting ready to chase this thing. Now there's like so much belly in the line at this point. This thing's pulled so much line out. So a lot of times you don't know if they're there or not because you're just trying to get that belly and try and get around to where the fish is. So we're just trying to, this guy couldn't really reel fast enough to get on that belly. So I think Kenton went over to start to help him. And we're just like trying to get it. And then you can just tell eventually you'll start to see the angle of the line and know that, you know, she's come off. And sure enough, she came off the second time. And at that point it was starting to get dark, and we just, we were like right by the, you know, right in front of the harbor entrance, and we kind of did one more pass and, you know, went in. And I still remember that drive home. Every time I drive on this certain street back from the harbor, and it's like that time of night, you know, we got back and I was so heartbroken and tired. We didn't even clean the boat. We just put everything away and we're just like, screw it, I'm gonna be here in a few hours anyways. I was like, I just need to go home. And we were both just devastated. It was her. And I just remember that drive home, just like thinking about, you know, it was one of my first years, and I'm just like thinking about that one. And every time I go down that road at that certain time of night with the lights on, the street lights on and everything, it just brings that memory back. And it's just another one of the heartbreak stories that this town has provided me. Big fish, heartbreakers. There's like all kinds of places here I can go where they bring back memories of getting punched in the nuts. So anyways, that was a good one. That was a big one. And that is about the end of my stories that I can think of in Kona. Obviously, you know, we threw the Grander one in. I have some great stories about Samoa and some other places. Look, if you really did like this and you want me to put some more together, some of my stories when I was fishing in like Vanuatu and Samoa and whatever, like put in the comments. And please like subscribe to the channel. It helps me get these videos out and stuff. It actually makes it, I had to put a lot of time into edit and do all this. I'm doing it all by myself, so the more subscribers, the more it's worth it for me. But yeah, if you actually did enjoy these episodes, put it in the comments and I'll make more of them like this. I think the next one I'm going to do, which will be the next episode after this, I'm going to take you on a tour of Honokaha Harbor and of the Benchmark. We're going to go down there, we're going to check it out. I'm going to show you where everything is there, show you the weigh station, show you where the boat is, show you all the stuff. So that's kind of cool. So that will be next. But if you did like this and you want more talk story videos like this, comment below, and I will make another one. But if not, and that was sufficient and you enjoyed it, but all good, then we're all good. But anyhow, thanks for listening to my stories there. I will continually try and put good content out there, even though we're not fishing a whole bunch. And shortly we'll be back fishing again soon anyhow, so it won't be too long of this little slouch without being on the water, but we'll be out there soon. And yeah, any ideas for episodes or things you want to see, things you want to know, tips, techniques, whatever, comment in there. All right guys, thank you.